So things are not going to go anywhere. Okay, on this D1, you can think of this as log of S over K plus R minus Q times tau plus, and the whole thing is going to be divided by that, and plus 1/2 sigma root T, basically. And so alternative way to write D1. Again, I'm being kind of anal about it, but if you use these things for many times and you want them to be calculated real time, you want as much speed as possible. But since I calculate this thing separately, all I have to do is just add it up. Now let's start writing the code for the function itself. Function Black-Scholes Europe, or let's just call it BS Euro. It's going to have many arguments. Current price, strike price, volatility, or let's put in time. I rate as double. I divvy as double. Anything else? Strike, spot, strike, volatility, rate, dividend, time. I think that's all I need. And I'm going to make this as variant. It means it will be a type that I want. That's for array function stuff. We'll worry about that part at the very end. First, within this, we're going to calculate call value, put value, all of their Greeks. Once I calculate all of them, I'm going to put them into a little array. So how many of them we're calculating? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's going to be an 8x2 array, and we're just going to plug it on worksheet. But first, let's calculate all of the components, since we have the formulas for them, and we'll go from there. As you can see, a lot of these formulas depend upon S times present value of the asset yield, K times present value of strike, D1, minus D1, and so on and so forth. So let's at this point, I'm not going to worry about declaring some of the what we call local variables we have. Local means they're recognized only within this code. It's always a good idea to declare them as local. That way, if there's any conflict, the local takes precedence. That means you can use the same name across different things without creating a conflict. But just as a first pass, so let's do this. Let's calculate present value of $1 using asset yield and discount rates. In VBA, any line that starts with a single quote is just a comment line. I'm writing that to remind myself or the readers of this code that this is what we're doing. But as far as execution is concerned, you can write anything you like, you write there. You can write a novel, it doesn't make any difference. So I'm going to call it PVA, and let's remember our function, PVC1. The first one is rate. This is for asset yield. So IDivvy. The second one is ITime. PVR, or let's call that PVD. I'm going to also need, I'm going to call this SIG-T. Sigma root time, I sigma, I time. I'm going to calculate D1 and D2. And D1 is, oh, another thing. In Excel, the function for natural logarithm is ln. In VBA, it's simply log. Okay, so log of spot over strike. Let's remember our D1 formula simplified. Times R minus plus R minus Q divided by that root 2 thingy. I rate minus I divvy. And to the whole thing, I'm going to add half of that SIG-T. But I can also do the declaring these local stuff. You do a dim PVA as double. By the way, internally, these capitalizations do not matter, but I write everything without capitalization. If you declare them, if you didn't have any spelling errors, it's going to convert to that capitalization. That's why I do it. Okay. And ID2 equals ID1 minus SIG-T. As you can see, I wrote the whole thing in lowercase. Once I entered it, those capitalizations came in, that means I didn't make any spelling errors. Let's go to the formula for the fair value. Present value of the stock, present value of the strike. So let's calculate those. So let's do PVS as double, PVK as double.